All right,
All right,
I'm gonna go check, make sure we're live on Instagram.
I'll check Facebook. Oops. All right, just got the noti on YouTube.
Yeah, I just got that as well.
And yes, I am live. We love it. Good morning, live. Happy Sunday.
Happy
Gotta click on
Sunday.
that.
Let me make sure I don't see it on Instagram yet. If it doesn't go on Instagram, I'm not sweating it too hard.
That's all good. I imagine it would.
Yeah, imagine it would. I
If
mean, I did the
it's
stream key.
yeah, fuck it. We should see it. We should see it here in a sec. Maybe it's lagging a little behind. Let's
Yeah,
go
I got some good stuff to get into today, man. Some good stuff. I was up at 5:45 this morning doing some research on some stuff. Some
Yeah, where are you looking
just some, cryptocurrency is the main reason I'm bringing it up, but it's really just to to shine light on the changing financial system and the equal agreement of the like on a global scale of okay, yes, we are going to do it this way, um,
at?
and just kind of brings back to the inevitable nature of where we're going with cryptocurrency and
Who do you
yeah,
think that? When do you think that like direction will be figured out?
yeah.
At
So
least the
that's this.
framework at which they want to get that done.
So I'll bring up some receipts for that as well. But it's this year. It's this year. It's by
And
the
it's
end of November 2025. It's this year, by the latest, December. But and multiple, like I said, I got. Wait till you see like my this free. You know how you can put the Google in groups, the tabs in groups.
Mhm.
I got ISO 20022 right there in a whole group with a bunch of different tabs to show actual like from Bank of India,
Mhm.
Bank of Brazil, like in their central bank, they are talking
Mhm.
about this, right? And
Interesting.
so it's crazy, but I don't think we're live on Instagram, so it's all good. Yeah, but that's what I was getting into this morning. Also, some stuff I came upon regarding PayPal.
Mhm.
Um,
PayPal got going on.
PayPal, yeah, PayPal. But yeah. What you had
Wow.
going on this morning?
Shit, man. I worked up until close last night. I got the 4:30 last cut last
Mm,
night. So I got home probably around 1:40.
yeah.
And talked to my lady on the phone for a little bit because mid afternoon, early evening, over in
Okay.
Vietnam. She's at. So I chatted with her for a little bit. Then went to sleep. I got up around 8:30. My alarm was on for 8:30.
Yeah.
Woke up, brushed my teeth. Saw her text, went back to sleep for another hour. And just woke up. Been kicking up. Was my Dr. Yana, my advisor and professor, waiting on a letter of recommendation from her for my master's application. So sent her a quick email.
Okay.
Deadlines are approaching, so got that done. I'm working on the podcast a bit. That I'll get out tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, man. After 2 late nights, usually my Sunday morning, I just take a little slow. Yeah, later on before work, I'll get some movement in, do a little back rehab, do some core push-ups, nothing crazy. And then work at 2.
Man, I need to trail you on that stuff because I know. My back be crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, mine felt horrible for a couple weeks. Obviously, I had the back herniations a couple years ago,
yeah.
but yeah, about 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks ago. As of now, my back just kind of flared up on me a little bit. The numbness kind of got a little bit more superficial than I'd like. So over the last 3 weeks, I've been doing my little back rehab. And I got a little plan. I'll shoot it over to you. But
Nah, for sure, bro. Because there's
my
times I'm laying down. You said what?
good, 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 good.
I was gonna say there's times where I'm laying down or sitting down. I can't even explain the type of, and you can definitely relate to it, and others can relate to it. But it's just like a pain, and it just makes you wanna, bro. It's just
When
man.
sitting down is the most uncomfortable position. When anybody gets most of their
Yeah,
work done, we're sitting down in a chair, so it makes work tough,
yeah.
pretty debilitating.
No, definitely. Let me grab some water real quick. Come here. Right back. Which do you got anything you want to get into today? You got something you wanna start with? Because it's something about man. Once I get going down that mug, it's
Yeah.
hard for me to find my way out.
Nah, man, you take it. Um, we'll do a little market prep somewhere
Yeah, for sure.
along this line. Prepping for the new Mark and I both
Yeah,
had good weeks. Let me just speak for you, Mark. I had productive weeks in the market this past week. I was around 9.9, but if I got the round up, it'd be 10%. I'm just gonna keep it as accurate as possible. Pretty good execution, I'd say. I think I gave myself a 7.2 out of 10 on my execution. Outside of two plays, I was really happy, but there's two plays in which I just wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be with the system I'm using now. I
mm,
kind of converted my strategy to those two plays, simply put, from a day trading perspective to more of a swing perspective. What
yeah,
with the back testing I've been doing in the system I'm implementing, that's not quite a part of it, but it makes me appreciative of understanding top-down analysis and understanding that price is fractal and being able to make
yeah,
higher time frames. So I had a bearish read on my higher time frames on gold. Gold is the pair in which I'm talking about here. So and of course, anybody who's familiar with the gold markets know how bullish the gold market is, especially now, and how bears have been getting. It just eats up bears at any given moment. But I had
yeah,
thought I had a good reading on there, so I wasn't stoked about my execution necessarily, but I was appreciative of the work I've done to be able to understand the markets like I do. That's why it's not any lower than in a 7, not higher than a 7.5 on my execution. So sitting right there about a 7.2. Hoping to build
yeah.
this week.
I mean, man, yeah. That's why we're freaking doing this. Stack the days, man. Stack the days.
Mm-hmm.
I love having that trade log, but also that weekly recap,
Mm-hmm.
like just to see that progress along with the execution. I
Mm-hmm.
can definitely attest to that. Like you said, execution was definitely couldn't have been better on a few trades of mine, but took control of the masses of my executions this week.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. And one thing
you
that
trade,
just real quick, and I'll
yeah,
kind of specify on why the trade I took still, it worked out for me, obviously, and I had the read on it. But why
mm,
would I feel some type of way towards a trade like that? And
yeah,
I was thinking about this yesterday on my way to work, and I just started calculating just the risk that I was taking in those trades. And then it clicked for me. I was like, that's why. That's why I kind of feel kind of about those positions, just because my risk was a little too high, and it wasn't. with respect to what I've risked in the past,
Yeah.
maybe I can't be mad, but I think I got willing to risk. I think I calculated it because it's easy with a 0.01. About 16% of my account is what I was
Okay.
risking, which is just a little too high for me. I like to
Yeah.
stay between on my account size. I'm willing to risk between 3 to 5% on my account, just where my account is at right now, just because it's low enough.
Man, I hear you.
I can absorb. Let's say my account let's say it's $200. I can absorb 5% L, which is $10. I can just put $10 in my account. It's like I'm willing to lose that money in a way. If my account was 100 grand, I wouldn't necessarily want to risk $10,000. $10,000
Yeah.
would be my 5% risk. So just to help us kind of think about the scale at which we can trade from, and ideology kind of shifts between
Yeah.
being able to risk a little bit more, not being able to risk as much as you'd like. But yeah, my risk was just a little too high for what I liked at one point, at the worst of it in my drawdown. But
No, that's a great way to put it though, because I feel that what you just said. Sometimes, when I mean, I've been in a $10, $15 drawdown. I'm like, all right, I'm willing to let this get to, just because I've already extended
mm,
it. I'm like, all right, I'm willing to let this get to $20 or whatever the case may be, because I can I'll put $20 back in there and just take this lesson for what it is. But that it goes to show, bro, like you saying the 3 to 5%, I feel like we're risking far more than that, before saying our risk management has definitely got refined,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
you
and I think
know.
you've learned the value of preservation of capital
Yeah,
matter. Um,
yeah.
there I go. Trying not to
I
say
still
trying
can't
not to
get to
say
that
knowledge
gold
here.
yet.
Gold,
That's why I like that gold on the
gold
futures though, bro.
animal.
I can't lie. The gold on the futures, because I get to just manipulate the volatility that I'm exposed to. It's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just my brain, but
I hear you. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, because one gold position puts you in there. You're
yeah,
you're,
it
you're in
puts
there.
you in there. But shoot, about
We're gonna
13 minutes in. So what?
continue to build. We're gonna continue to build this week. Gonna stay
Oh yeah,
primarily
oh
on
yeah.
gold.
Yeah, yeah, the
I'm
and the good week, right? We're not sitting here like, you know, job not finished, like Kobe type of, you know what I'm saying? Like what the heck? Like it was one, couple good weeks in a row, but it's just about stacking them, man. Like VXT, I want to have 52 weeks, I'm performing,
Mhm,
in a similar but better way than I did this previous week. Um,
mhm,
so always looking in the highs, always looking to pull lessons out of them, and
mhm.
to take into the next week, because we could always do better, right? I think we talked about something like that in our pod this past week, something of that nature.
Yes, yes, we did. Yes, we did. My mic sound better. My audio.
It does sound good. It does sound good. How do I sound?
You sound good. You sound good.
So,
I had to charge up my mini mics a little bit. I hate that.
all right, man. So I just want to start getting into some of this stuff. Get the ball rolling on some things. First thing I want us to get into was really just cryptocurrency, and just trying to continuously build the long-term mindset around cryptocurrency. This is not something. I mean, we may see it, on social media when we're scrolling day in and day out. People getting rich in a day, you know, but that's not the point. Like that's not the point with this. So I just want to
That's
bring
a
up,
lot. That's a very common perception of it, of crypto. I
yes,
feel like.
yes. Like they're not thinking of it. We're not there, but as a whole, we're not thinking of it as this institutional way. And that really is my favorite word when it comes to cryptocurrency, institution, because when you hear something like that, um, you automatically think, or you should think on a really, really large scale. Like this is not something that we could necessarily have a large impact on, or that we're even the focus of necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Um, because and now there are cryptocurrencies that are focused on us, like peer to peer, like XLM, Stellar Lumen. That is a peer to peer. Their use case serves peer-to-peer transactions. So like me and, you know, Quinn sending money to and from each other, or me sending money to somebody in, you know, Japan for, you know, instantaneously and
What are the
whatnot.
different kinds of, other than P2P? What are the various other kinds of transactions that can be made with the
Well,
digital
if we
asset?
think about it from transaction standpoint, we got peer-to-peer, we got business to business, we got um, business to consumer. Actually, probably not business to consumer, but consumer to business,
Mhm.
um, and really those three right there. Because
Yep.
even like government to government, that's what that'll be considered, you know, business to business. Um, so
Yes.
and you know, to your point, that's where, you know, the XRPs of the world come in for those institution
Mhm.
type of movement and millions of dollars of money, right?
Mhm.
Um, but so let me bring this up because there's actually a very common company that we know of, right? In PayPal, you can see my screen, right?
Mhm.
So you got PayPal, right? Look at this. So PayPal has their own stablecoin. PayPal has their own stablecoin. What is a stablecoin? A stablecoin is the equal value of the US dollar. You know, so one US dollar is one PayPal stablecoin, or one PYUSD, right? So you see right here is the stablecoin backed by secure and highly liquid assets, right? And we'll get into some of the stuff that these stable coins are backed by, which is gonna flow us right into, you know, our sentiment of the week as far as trading goes, because once we get into what these are backed by, it's going to support the longevity of the dollar. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on some of this stuff. But so yeah, look at this. Backed by reserves, PayPal USD is designed to maintain a stable $1 USD value. It's backed by dollar deposits. So you go to the bank, drop your money in there. It's backed by US treasuries and cash equivalents. Not sure what cash equivalents is. Do you have any idea what do you think cash equivalents would be there? Throw that in the wash real quick.
Designed to maintain a stable $1 USD value. It's backed by dollar deposits, U.S. Treasuries, and cash equivalents.
Like I just want to know what type of assets that would be, you know? Is it real
Equivalents.
estate? Like, is it bonds? Is it? I feel like you guys. Anyways, we're seeing what we're the point. The point is that's just like cherries on top. But the point is that PayPal is doing this,
Mhm.
and they have been doing this since 2003 or 23. Excuse me, 2023. Like that's and I saw that, I'm like, oh my goodness. So okay. Always just speaking to the, you know, global adoption, right? They got this built on, let's see, maybe using the Ethereum and Solana networks. So you can use their wallet addresses for that. Um, so yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Seeing that?
My first thought is just, and it goes back to some research I was doing the other day. There was a sentence I read, and it's the seamless integration
Mm,
of these digital asset models into existing frameworks. I think that's exactly how it read.
mm,
So we'll see, it's not going to be, to your point, Marcus. PayPal. This is something they've been doing since August 2023. So that means they were then probably working on it since August 2017. Their team. So it's thinking about that aspect, and this transitory period into, let's call it a new world. We'll keep it as simple and as ambiguous as that. It's going to
yeah.
happen right before our eyes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're going to go into our chase, and we're going to be like, hey, transfer your money to whatever their stable coin is, just whatever. And I can't predict the future in the sense of using the correct terminology and knowing exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Marcus and I were continuing to backtrack, look at the crumbs, and figure out what it is going to look like. Like I just mentioned, the crumb PayPal's probably been working on this since 2017. All these other companies who are launching their stable coin, their digital asset workflows within their systems. They're working on it right now. Inevitably, every single major company is working on this. So
Yes.
we're just uncovering the tracks and not predicting, but researching and finding the clues as to what it is going to look like. But for the common folk, for people who aren't paying attention, it's going to seem like it just happens right before our eyes. Like all of a sudden, we're going to be at a dinner party and we're like, damn, all of a sudden, like this, we're just using crypto all the time. Like that's crazy that we're here. That's going to be the conversation at dinner parties and holiday parties.
Yeah.
We're going to be in 10 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
filthy rich because we did the work now, did the work early.
Yeah, bro, absolutely. And just simply just got knowledgeable about it, about an ever-changing system. And something that was also crazy with that, because regulation is a big thing. Like, as far as that's why when I was remember that one video from the, I think you did watch it, the when the Coinbase CEO was talking on the World Economic Forum. Remember
Mhm,
that?
mhm,
And he had said something along the lines of, they were all kind of saying basically regulatory policies needed to be put in place before it can be really integrated directly into our lives.
mhm,
And that's when we get into, like, I think it's the New York, where is it at right here? I'll pull it up real quick. The New York State Department of Financial Services,
mhm,
right? So that is what Ripple Labs with XRP with their stablecoin. That's who they just got approved by, when it was like this big ordeal, because they're
mhm,
moving closer and closer and closer to being like a verified stablecoin, right?
mhm,
This is what, and I'm about 95%. I'm sure I'm right on this. This is where Tether is non-compliant. They don't have the correct um, regulatory infrastructure in place,
mhm,
like they should, right? And so with that, we're thinking about PayPal. Look at this, what this says right here. So this stable coin PYUSD is issued by this company, Paxos Trust Company,
mhm.
right?
Who owns that? Paxos Trust Company.
Yes, they basically designed the stablecoin. They provide the stablecoin for PayPal, right? So the same way that Ripple Labs provides XRP, or yeah, the same way Ripple's in control of XRP, PayPal is new to this type of framework. So they have somebody running that framework, from my understanding. Um, and then, but this down here, look at this. PYUSD is regulated by the New York State Department of Financial Services. So they are a regulated stable coin. USD is issued by the US Treasury. And then I was like, that's really interesting that, that's kind of flying under the radar in my opinion. Like I haven't heard anything about this until I went and did this research. And then I looked at this company, and this company is like owned by the New York State of Financial Services,
Mm-hmm.
or they're
Yeah,
they're
I'm
based out
looking
of
at
there. And so like then
regulated
you get
fully
I just
backed.
start and then so I just think about all those things that start just weaving in and out of each other. It reminds me of like those those things that we used to play with as kids. Maybe you didn't play with them, maybe you did, but I feel like they would be at like when you put your quarter in or maybe at like a carnival, you put your finger in both ends and it'll like your fingers get stuck.
It's
That
like a
reminds me of that.
Japanese finger tie, Japanese something like that.
Yeah, it's like the just the constant interweaving of what's going on. And once you start connecting all of these dots and all of these pieces,
Mm-hmm.
that is why I like that we're so bullish on it, because it's like you said, it's unfolding right before our eyes. This is the type of stuff that's unfolding right before our eyes that we don't see every day, right? So this is learn how PayPal USD helps reduce transactions fees in Africa. So they're using this in Africa every day, right? So like this is stuff we just don't see every day.
Well, you'll like this. I'm on Pexel's website right now.
Oh,
Trusted by interactive brokers, Venmo, MasterCard, PayPal, of course, like we're talking about. There's one more that was interesting. Yeah. And there's a couple others, but I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the companies. But really big institutions
yeah,
that
yeah,
maybe you aren't familiar with interactive brokers, but interactive brokers is absolutely massive. We've all heard of Venmo, all heard of PayPal. Obviously, everybody has a MasterCard in their wallet, I
yeah,
imagine. It's interesting. And nobody would know that these companies are involved with the ambiguous crypto space.
mm-mm. Or regulated. Like the same thing that was this big ordeal for XRP when it happened, like for RLUSD. I don't know when that happened for PayPal, but obviously we saw that they had established that in 2023. So we're
Mm.
almost 2 full years out come August from when that's been established. Is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, man. Um,
Yeah. So this space is something that for anybody that watches this, and to put it out there, me, I don't own any crypto at the present moment. I'm not
mhm.
I don't necessarily have any skin in the game right now. But what I'm trying to do here is just frame how we should interact with this space and what it's going to look like moving forward. So us talking about this now, us doing the research now,
Yeah,
I'm 100% going to own this stuff, different different digital assets, different kinds of digital assets, B2Bs, B2Cs, T2Bs, P2Ps, different
yeah,
kinds. Obviously, to just diversify, bringing all in the same space.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So at the present moment, I don't own any crypto,
Mhm.
but I will. That's why I'm doing the research now
For
to
sure.
figure out how to optimize my entry into this space. We're
Yeah,
still we're still early for sure,
super
but
early.
we said the crumbs are being laid.
Yeah.
for us to figure out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. I just so that the audience can hear that, because it's like, all right, how do we even know these people aren't just leading us astray? Well, trust me, we are not. I have some crypto. I have had some crypto, and these same cryptos that have come about, I came across in like 2021. So just to see everything come full circle, I'm fully bought into using the opportunity within cryptocurrency. I'm really fascinated by the research as well, and seeing the technology of crypto. Like once we start to see it get integrated, technology of crypto is truly something spectacular. Just the efficiency of everything, um, and just you when I pull up like the blockchain explorer sometimes to see my money traveling. And you know how it says like still pending or whatnot. I have no idea what any of that means, but it's just dope to see that type of transparency there. Something we don't have now, with our current banking system. So I've definitely felt the power and being able to maximize cryptocurrency. In this recent bull run, I had to liquidate. Why, I'm not gonna say had to. I had the opportunity. I got to liquidate some of my assets from crypto because I freaking blew a tire, bro. I blew a tire. I blew a tire, and then I had to get 4 new ones. And
That's
so,
life, right? Yeah,
man,
that's like
I got
the hard stuff that like it will piss you off, but you like have
yeah.
like you
You
need to
have to
win.
do it, and bro,
Wheels.
I was so blessed to be able to do it, because if I wouldn't have, because every time I get paid, right, I make sure I put something into crypto, like no matter what it is, and depending on how much it is, will tell me where to put it, right? Because these cryptocurrencies that we have talked about in previous lives and will continuously talk about, they're not super expensive right now. We're talking, $3 at most, $2.30. Like you can get a decent amount of coins once you understand the scale. Like you can say a coin's 50 cents. You can get 10 coins by putting in what, $20, right? And then let's say that 50 cent per coin when you bought it ends up scaling to $100, right? And you can do the math on that. And once you understand how possible that really is, and it really being here right now, that is why I chose to put my money in cryptocurrency during this time, slowly when I get paid. There's a point in time where I was taking my paycheck in Bitcoin, bro. And I would, just let it ride, because and I like, yes, I know it's risky, but that's why you have to do the research, or you have to be a part of a community, or watching our YouTube videos, or following us on Instagram, or anybody. It doesn't have to just be us, but just being involved with what's going on, so you know how to make informed decisions. Because as Jim Rohn said, it's all risky. It's all risky.
It's all risky.
it's, it's all risky, but
And
no,
I just want to say real quick,
yo,
we're not certified financial advisors yet.
yeah,
We will be one day. We'll
yeah.
get that. We'll get that cert one day.
Throw that out
We're
there.
not financial advisors. We're not. You couldn't call us masters or financial savants or anything yet. We're doing the work and committed to doing so, and accepting of the risk and the failure that is inevitable along this process. I think how we articulate upon in the thorough research we do makes us a really good source of information for a lot of this stuff. We want to minimize the amount of mistakes we make and minimize the amount of dollars we lose when we do make mistakes in the financial markets. and that's been done over time. Will continue to be done. It's just the commitment.
Yeah,
I just want to say that we're not financial advisors by any means.
I'm glad.
On the live of these ones, but our commitment to understanding this space and optimizing as many, I can't say every opportunity that the financial market presents, but as
Hmm.
many as we can,
Absolutely.
makes us a really good source of information.
As many as we can with the least amount of risk as we can.
Yeah.
But no, I forget to say stuff like that. You definitely gotta throw out the disclaimers. You definitely gotta throw it out there.
Those
But
Bloom
I'm gonna. You said what?
like those Bloom guys tell me to put my whole bank account in Bitcoin. I lost it all. Well, brother, on the live, I told you more. I'm doing this thing. But yeah, no, got to throw that on there. But not just for
Oh,
that
man.
reason, the I guess legal reason, but obviously we're um not in a mansion in Beverly Hills or in
Yeah.
we're going through this and we're growing up in this space, but our burning desire to understand this space and not see if we make it, but make it because we know that volume times time, the longer amount of time we do this,
Hmm.
as long as volumes applied, we will achieve everything we want to. It's just all about us deciding what we want to achieve, assigning volume times time to it, and getting there. So that's our approach.
Absolutely.
I always want to make that as clear as possible anytime we're in a live capacity. Um, so I think that's important.
Absolutely. And on that note, let's get into some more juice. Let's get into some more. All right. So the reason why I started with PayPal is because PayPal has a partnership with this company here, Ondo. And what is Ondo? I've been really fascinated by Ondo. How did I discover this? I don't remember even how I discovered it. Um, so if you don't know, Texas is forming their own stock exchange. So the same way there's the New York Stock Exchange, there's the Nasdaq. I'm not sure the completed. I don't know if Nasdaq's an acronym, but that's also a stock exchange. But then Texas is forming their own stock exchange, right? And Ondo is that there's great speculation that Ondo, they just had an event in some other country where they're talking about Wall Street 2.0. That's what they're marketing, right? Um, but they're basically tokenizing U.S. Treasuries. And I have great speculation that they're going to be tokenizing stocks, and it's going to be on the Texas Stock Exchange. But as we see right here at Ondo, this is straight from their page, right? Their mission is to make institutional grade. That is the most important part. Institutional grade financial products and services available to everyone, or this financial products and services. Another term for that is real world assets. That's what you'll start seeing, RWA. You'll start seeing that ton. All right. And they say we believe that blockchain technology has the potential to improve both the infrastructure of and access to financial products and services. So why this is important is because it's going to open up the ability for so many other people to invest into this stuff, right? Because there's
And
something
real
called,
quick, I want
yeah,
just to always make this as real as possible, right?
yeah,
My lady, she's in Vietnam, and she was talking about just how I don't want to say worthless the money is, but just with respect to she has the
mm,
Canadian dollar, but the U.S. dollar
okay,
significantly less valuable, and these people don't have access to any other kinds of money due to
that's
their geographical
crazy.
location. So somebody
Wow,
in Vietnam, Indonesia, call it a third world country, if they have access to the internet and Wi-Fi, God willing, electricity, God willing, the opportunity to get out of your bubble from a third world country has become more real than it ever has because of this technology. I was thinking about that. It was last night. I was like, wow, like that's is crazy. It's crazy.
Bro,
Those people know
that is
know.
so beautiful that you brought that up. But I'm glad you said that. So you said it is you said she has no other. That wasn't just a example, right? That's like a fact.
What?
Like she has no other access to like and you said in Canada, right? That's what we were talking about just now.
Yeah. So what I was saying is my lady, she's from Canada, so she
Yeah.
obviously all the money she has is Canadian dollars.
Mm.
She's in South Asia right now, and using just making transactions in Vietnam per se.
Okay.
The transaction she's making, she made the comment that, oh, this and this at the store was only $4, and it sparks the thought in my head of, okay, in a third world country,
Mm-hmm.
if world-ish, second world, we'll call it a second world country, where their money it doesn't go very far. If some and I've had this thought, if a Vietnamese citizen, if a citizen of Afghanistan, if they want to come to the United States for like a
Mm.
vacation, they essentially have to be very, very well off
I
in their own
see
country
what you're saying.
in order just
Yeah.
to be able to go out to eat here, just because of the
Yeah.
value of the money. But now with this blockchain technology and the access to, we'll say, backed digital assets, it's now easier for people in second and third world countries to get their hands on currency that has more value. That makes
Absolutely.
sense. They could
No,
always, of course, they
absolutely.
could always get US dollars and Canadian dollars, but that process is either ambiguous, or you have to go to like a Western Union, and there's
Yeah.
transaction fees, and you end up losing. Like it's just way too much. But digitizing, excuse me, this space mitigates the majority of the resistance when it comes to people in second and third world countries getting
Yeah.
their hands on currency that has more monetary value than their
Absolutely.
home currency.
No, absolutely. That's it. And XLM is actually partnered with MoneyGram, and MoneyGram's a big transactor
Hmm.
of those type of payments. And what Q is talking about right now is what we call a global problem, right? That is a large problem, and that money, to be able to even include that into a market where that it's not going anywhere right now, this is like that's it's going to be big for a lot of people, and also just for the space and the liquidity within the space.
Oh
um
yeah.
and so
I mean, for
so
me,
yeah,
I'd love to
yeah,
see a world. Not that you gotta apologize. I'd love to see
no,
a
it's
world
fine.
where, like, there's no reason there should be third world countries,
Yeah,
right? There's
yes.
with in the capital age we live in now. And I've always thought about it. Even when I go to certain countries, America's definitely ahead in terms of capitalism, and the American dream's obviously been something that been a thing since for within the last 100 years, whatever let's call it. But you go to another country, like, damn, it feels like they're 5 to 10 years just behind, if that makes sense,
Mm,
on their technology and stuff like that. So I'd love to see a world where just money enters the third and second world countries is
mm,
easier, and it flows easier. I think this digitizing money like this, the digital assets, has the potential to really help with that issue.
Do you
when it
think it's
comes
just
to
solely?
go ahead, answer the question, ask the question.
Do you think it? Do you think it's just when it's solely for when it comes to like investment into that country, or like how do you think it could is it going to create more opportunity for those people within that country because of what? Like,
Yeah, that's a really good directing question. I appreciate it. I'm over here stumbling over my words.
you're good.
The opportunity is what I'm speaking to. The opportunity of people that live in that country and the governments of these countries
Mm,
to get a little bit more of their keep, and for them not to. I just think of the money we talked about this the other day, the money lost in transaction fees.
mm,
You know, the smallest country could send a couple billion to this
I
country for
see.
some transaction fee of 2% on 2 billion is a lot of money that could be mitigated, and that $100 million, whatever it is invested into the infrastructure of that country. Because even
Yeah,
something like that, the mitigation of transaction fees of the government,
absolutely.
and you run into so many other issues when it comes to governments in a lot of these second and third world countries and the structure of their government and economic
Yeah.
system. That's still a whole nother thing. That's why I talked about just the opportunity that the people will have to capitalize on something like this.
No, absolutely. That's a great point. Because those fees, I keep overlooking those fees when we're talking about this stuff because those are millions and because if you think about how many transactions are being done over the course of a year, and if it's 50 million of in dollars in fees every time you transact, we're closing in on $1 billion worth of lost money. It's just money just because of fees. And to Q's point, for a country that is only even spending just so that they can stay above water, right? Having those additional fees, having that additional funding back into their country, man, that's yeah. Crypto's definitely gonna. I can definitely see that. Can definitely see that. Um, a few quick hitters, really quick on to finalize on this Ondo, right? So I'm really big on partnerships. Like anytime that I see big companies, right, partnered with anything that I'm looking at, I'm automatically attracted to see what's going on over there. And this company right here, Franklin Templeton, is one
Mhm.
of the partners of Ondo, right? And Franklin Templeton, they already have their own. And when you see stuff like on chain, this is simply saying it's tokenized, it's digitized, it's on the blockchain. They already have their own type of government asset, right? So it's called a
Mhm.
government money fund. And what they do is they invest into treasury bonds and they invest into all that stuff. And that's what their portfolio consists of, right? But it's digitized. And Franklin Templeton already has this. Okay. So that's just quick hitter right there. I thought that was crazy. If you don't know who Franklin Templeton is, as of January 31st, they manage about $1 trillion in assets, right? So follow the money, man. Like, come on, trillion
Follow the money.
dollars? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What are your thoughts on that? Seeing that?
Following partnerships is a very easy way to get into a rabbit hole on this stuff. I think go to Ondo, go to what was it? No, it's not Praxis, Praxos, the website we looked at a little bit ago. Look through their website, and you're guaranteed to see some companies involved with Ondo in this case. Look it
Yeah.
up. Do research.
Play.
It's a very good way to interact with this information.
Yeah, and take a look at this, right? So this is another thing I wanted to show. On Ondo. So when you click on ecosystem is essentially partnerships, like the people that are contributing to make this thing work, right? And you see all partners. You can even click on here and see the different sectors within blockchain that all of these different companies are a part of. And we're not going to get into the individual what these different, like I'm probably about 80% on all of these, right? Bridges, like, so we just don't need to get into that yet. But I really just wanted to show all these partnerships, right, that they already have. Coinbase, Chainlink, some of those that we're familiar with. PayPal was in here, MetaMask, right? Phantom, Polygon, Solana, Sui, like those are some pretty big names that are already made their way in this space. And then I see stuff like this, right? How this says BlackRock right here, Morgan Stanley. These are companies that have invested into the Texas Stock Exchange, right? And just from what I personally think about marketing, I don't believe that a company could like market something like this
Oh,
if
yeah.
they didn't have any type of like integration with it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe
100,
I'm just like pulling that out of left field, but when we're
100%.
talking about big names like BlackRock, we're talking that's the largest asset manager in the world, right? You just can't have that on there if you don't
That's
have
just
some type of relationship.
yeah, that's not on there by accident, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure. And so the main reason this conversation even came up was the Texas Stock Exchange. And so we haven't even gotten to stocks a lot on our platforms and whatnot, but that is another opportunity that we want to be well knowledgeable in. But it's tying the entire financial market together right now. Um, and this is just a quick document. I'm not going to read this at all. I just wanted to show you who it is from. It's from the Federal Reserve. It's our central bank, right? It's our central bank. And they are in this document talking about Ondo, right? This is the Fed. This is our central bank. Not every country has their own central bank. A lot of countries do, but we are the only country that uses the Federal Reserve, right? The U.S. United States, right? And you see that in this document, they're talking about Ondo Finance. They're talking about U.S. Treasuries. They're talking about BlackRock. And why am I just throwing out names? Because I'm following the money. They're talking about Amazon. They're talking about Tesla. You know what I'm saying? And it's that thing, that Texas Stock Exchange, when that launches, it's going to be insane. But the cryptocurrency is where we can get in right now because Ondo, they have a coin. They have it's like $2, right? Ondo's also partnered with XRP and Ripple, right? And that we know XRP is at like $2 and some change, but yeah, and then so yeah, that's all I had for Ondo there. Just some man, when I was
Interesting.
yeah. Yeah, I was doing a
Okay.
little research last night. It got to about midnight and I was like, all right, I need to go to bed because if I keep going down this hole,
Yeah, it's a very large rabbit hole, and
yeah,
what we're really getting at, what we're prompting us all to do is follow the money,
follow the
do the
money.
research, figure out what's going on. Like
And,
I think we've
and
done just articulating on just some of the breadcrumbs that have been laid.
yeah, and I'll even say off if I was brand new to this space and I had no prior knowledge of this space, just seeing what we just went over, that alone, I would be more inclined to now like look for more. Not maybe I'm not yet inclined to start putting my money in. I'm not saying just go empty your savings. That's not what I would personally do. What like Q's saying to the point, go find more breadcrumbs, because I promise they're there. There's probably some that I know there's plenty that I have not found. Um, you know, I do follow the bigger pieces of bread, of course. Um,
We
but
like it
yeah, the
if you couldn't tell.
yeah, and then there's this next one I want to get into, the ISO 20022 or 222, I'll say. Um, something that we probably won't hear about, like, just in my personal opinion, I could be completely wrong, but you probably aren't going to hear, like, you're getting an email from Chase saying, yeah, we're now, using, ISO 222. Then that's not going to happen. But you need to know what that means, because this is one of the big supporting factors for where we are going, and why we can just get ahead of the ball. And like we say, over time, we will get really, really wealthy off of this stuff, guys. Like, I have no doubt in my mind. Um, so ISO 222. Q, what do you know about ISO 222? Go ahead, talk to me on that.
You're gonna be my teacher here.
That's
Even better.
perfect. That's
Even better.
perfect.
Hold on.
No,
Pull it up. I'm gonna take a pee real quick. I'll be right back.
all right, bet. ISO, yeah, that's a good time to get a drink of water. Get a drink of water. All right, let me go live on Instagram. I'm already live now. Hope everybody's doing well. So, all right. So, which one do I want to start with? Let's start with that. Okay, so I got some tabs. Oh, okay. I know where I'm at. I got notes everywhere right now. Like, I probably have somewhere around 15 tabs open on my computer, like my laptop right now. I got about 9 tabs right here just for this ISO 222 on this computer. And I got me and the wash. We were having a back and forth on this stuff. Um, and so I have stuff everywhere. Okay, so let's get to this right here. Where is it at? So ISO 222. What is it? What the heck does that even mean? Okay, here we go. All right, so all ISO 222 is simply just the language in which banks will communicate between one another. What does that even mean? Just the way transactions will be documented. From I have, like, this is how I'm interpreting what the language of transactions is, because just kind of using context clues. Um, so when I send a payment from my bank account, my routing number, the time, the date, just that entire process, just all of the way in which We don't have the same banks when we pay stuff. We're not paying to our bank, right? We're paying to a completely different system. We're paying to completely, like, the way that our finances are transacted on a daily basis is there's so many different areas, right? So that entire system is changing, and it's actually called the current system that is right now. Um, let's see. Let's see. Let me pull up this. Here, let me pull up this right here. This is a good representation here. See my screen or no?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So these are the type of things that happen on a daily basis. Trade, as far as transactions go, trade, cards, payments, securities. So that's like the treasuries and stuff we were just talking about a second ago, and then forex. And as we see right here, this is obviously old because it says by 2023, the way that transactions communicate, the language of, you know, payments, it says by 2023, it'll account for 87% of high value transactions and 80% of high value and okay, volumes of 80% and value at 87%. Not sure the two. I'm going off. Let's go off volume though. So out of 100%, 80% of transactions are going to be using this type of system, right? Which that's crazy because we are, that means, you know, in 2025, as we think about this date, because now I'm going to bring up some more stuff. Let's see here. This is the 2025 is essentially the date for the integration. Um, and this document right here, this is from the Bank of Japan. And I think this is the one that shows the date. Let's see. Fully utilizing. Oh, that's not the one. This one.
SWIFT is moving all cross-border payments to ISO by 2025.
Yeah, I was even just trying to show because like all of these banks have it in their somewhere on their central bank that they're saying, "Yep, 2025." That is the agreement,
Yeah,
right? That is the agreement.
Reserve, European Central Bank, China, India, UK, Canada are all adopting it.
Yeah. And why does that matter? Because it leads directly in the path of the changing financial system, directly in the path of cryptocurrency. There's cryptocurrencies that have to be ISO 222 compliant, meaning they just have to be able to they have to have the regulatory infrastructure to be able to transact in that language. And there's a handful of currencies that have that. Yeah, and so a few of those currencies that I do have that are ISO compliant: XRP, XLM, XDC. Those all three of those are under $2, $3 at most. All serve different functions.
Yeah, I'm in the wash right now. I'm just looking at.
Yeah, and there's even something from the American Bankers Association, right? It says the American Bankers Association and other financial institutions are involved in the ISO 222 transition in the US. So we're talking about the association that oversees all banks in America.
Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's the foundation of the next generation financial system, bringing blockchain, crypto, and traditional banking together.
Mm.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting. It definitely it speaks to just the world, the money world being more and more digitized,
Yeah.
and the world being closer than it ever has been, in the sense that now it's as easy as it ever could be to send money somewhere, wire some money somewhere, make money somewhere. There's all those kinds of things. There's so much. There's not, as we look towards the future. There's not going to be. Of course, there'll be regulations and stuff, but there'll be just so many opportunities to capitalize
So
on
many
just the.
opportunities. And you even think about, you got content creators, man. You got people like that will be able to use, cryptocurrency to maybe grow their audience or build their own community out. Um, you got there's I was about to say one more thing about um I lost it. We were just talking. What were we just talking about? We were just talking about. Oh,
The world being closer than ever, opportunities. There'd be, there'd be more opportunities, money wise, making money wise, given the digital space, given the inherent nature of it. It happens.
it happens. It's like it's funny when you feel it slowly go and go away, anyways. But yeah, that's that's pretty much all I had on that to go over today. You know, when I put all those pieces together, and then you start to see how literally everything that I brought up today. Oh, and then this is what I want to say actually. Um, and what I looked up yesterday, what I had to make sure, I was like, okay, if this ISO 222 is changing everywhere, right? It's going to be changing the system, right? That means it has to affect the US and also our enemies per se.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I looked up BRICS nations, and literally all the BRICS nations, this is an actual organization, we can call it, that is trying to de-dollarize, how they operate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not no longer use the dollar, but they are still going to have to be using the same language. So that also shows me that global adoption for where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
Cryptocurrency, obviously a major one right now that we can execute on now, but it won't stop there. So I don't want to paint the pic. I want to build some urgency around the learning. But I also do want you to know it's okay if you don't get in now or on the first wave. Now, I do recommend, I'm not going to say that. Now, if it were me, I would get in now as much as I could and continuously, because that is going to be my approach over the next 5 years. I'm playing into 2030, and then I'll you know, as we build out that macro picture, which we'll get into.
Yeah,
So
100%, 100%. Do a little quick market preview. Look at news for the upcoming week, and then
take a
close
look
it.
at news. See what we got.
That's my screen. Yeah, you put me on
Yeah,
stage. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So as we look forward to tomorrow, obviously Marcus and I are very macro heavy, top down heavy. So a lot of our prep starts right here. This is Forex Factory is a great resource. Also, my FX book, which is a little bit more thorough, but my FX book is just busy, the page, the ads and stuff.
It
So I
is
kind of
busy as hell.
miss Forex Factory. But as we look for, what I'm looking for when it comes to news, as when I first started trading, I used to be scared of these red and orange folders, specifically talking about the USD red and orange folders. Now I look forward to them because that's when volatility presents themselves in the market. On Monday, tomorrow, banking holiday, President's Day is tomorrow. So I won't be taking any.
Mm,
I will not be taking any trades tomorrow due to lack of volatility and lack of clear direction. Usually on U.S. banking holidays, so Monday is negligible.
trade balance for euro too. Can you go up for me? On go back to Monday real quick.
Uh,
Yeah, then you got AUD. So even did you know? So did you know this? Have you noticed this? Let me see if you noticed this. You know how when you take a trade, so say you take a trade on February 14th,
mhm.
right? And like you take a trade on February 14th, and then later that same day, you take a trade, but on your MetaTrader or TradingView, it says the next day. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And I had this thought, and maybe I could be wrong, but is that because the New York session is not the start of the trading day?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I find that interesting. So that Monday right there, I'll probably be able to trade that night
Mhm.
because we'll be out of the banking holiday
Mhm.
and we'll be moving into London. Okay, because you got AUD.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Nice.
Sure. I like that. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Bring it out. Got some big CAD news. I'm gonna look at CAD this week. When I start to look at these oil prices, these oil figures, well, I've not noticed, but gas prices have increased here in the States, at least Phoenix. So I'd be curious to look at oil and the volatility of oil. CAD speaks Canada is a major exporter of oil to the United States. Thus, when oil is volatile, CAD is volatile. So I'm interested to look at some of the CAD data, particularly CAD oil data. I know this is CPI, but just because there's some volatility there on CAD. I feel like Trump's speaking every other day. We are within the first 100 days of his presidency.
Yeah,
I feel like that's pretty typical for the first 100 days. So Tuesday, it's always tentative as far as what time he's going to speak, but could be some volatility there.
Yeah, definitely get some volatility.
Especially off the holiday.
Yeah, did you see there was an article on Reuters about they were going to be, and I have it right here. It's dealing with Ukraine. To your point about what you said about oil. Oh no, I'm tripping. That had to do with Europe and energy. Just kidding. But there's just some talks going on with the U.S. and Russia. They're meeting in Saudi regarding Ukraine. And that is said to tie all the way back to the European market. And so I trade Euro Japan, right? So I'm trying to understand how the euro could be impacted by a positive talk or a negative talk moving into the week.
So much to pay attention to, be enlightened about. FOMC meeting on Wednesday. That'll be very. I'll probably watch that, or at least follow what I can as far as the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. Then as we conclude the week, Thursday unemployment claims, typical. Every week we'll see unemployment claims and see volatility coming in there. And outside of our ability to profit off of a move or potential volatility, just continuing to follow the health of the U.S. economy, I think, is very important right now. To maybe not a lot of people's knowledge, our economy is healthy. Employment data is good. Labor market is good. GDP is where it wants to be. It's just that inflation number that we want to see get down. Consumer data's been promising. Producer data's been promising. It's just that inflation. So stuff still feels expensive. That's why people think our economy is not doing well, but in fact, it really is doing well. I was thinking about that. I was talking with one of my coworkers last night about the economy. He's like, "Man, the economy's tough these days." I was like, well, yeah, inflation's high, but the economy's doing really well.
Yeah.
So just a little side note, little anecdote there for us. Then Friday, got a lot of stuff going on Friday. 7:30. Flash manufacturing PMI.
And that, my friends, is why I just cannot trade Fridays.
Yeah, for real.
Bro, kidding me?
So busy. And in some little way, this Euro news could impact the dollar value, and this GBP news could. So Fridays this is a pretty prototypical Friday as far as news goes. Thus, it's just very hard to get just really clear direction.
The Bank of Canada governor is speaking tomorrow. I wonder. Interesting.
But yeah, man, that's a little what we can look forward to news-wise for this week as we look to build upon last week. Man, I'm fired up. I'm fired up for this week. I've been really good about logging my trades. Gonna keep that up. Have found great success since starting this live account that I'm trading on. Had some early resistance, but over the past week and a half, 2 weeks, I've liked the way I've been performing and trading, and my emotions through all of that. chaos and uncertainty. I've like my approach, the systematic approach that I have now.
Yeah.
I really feel like we are just a couple moves away from being right there. I couldn't be more promised with just the progress I've made, the progress we've made. I'm really
Yeah.
excited to build upon everything we've done up to
And
this.
do you think that comes from any change in your like when we're talking actual strategy entry or exit, or is it strictly just really the foundation that's supporting all that?
Just volume times time, man. It's me being better at doing what we know makes us successful in the market, which
Mm,
is what makes trading so hard, along with the emotional aspect of it.
mm,
I think it's just volume times time. I've been obviously continuing to do this longer and longer and longer, learning, losing money, learning. Um, so I don't think it's any secret, any magic. I've simplified I've just added a way for me to enter early on runs to catch runs nice and early and mitigate
mm,
risk in that process. I really like that approach.
yeah.
That which is and still it's still keeping all my traditional entries. So all my mid run entries are our traditional VXT entries. I still trade inverse VXT, but not quite as much given my approach to catching the initial run with candle close right outside the cloud. Looking for 30 on there. Once price gets above 30, pushes up to 50, move my stop loss up. Once I get to 30,
Okay.
move stop loss up to break even. And every 20, that's the system I'm playing now. Every 20 pips, I'm going to continue to build that stop loss up, and then scale that, not scale, slide the stop loss up to mitigate risk.
So do you put in the take profit? You're watching it. This is when you're watching it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, because I like that, bro. Because I feel like this week because I do the 1.5
Mhm.
ratio. So
Mhm.
whatever that ends up being based on my stop.
Mhm.
But it
Especially,
gets
especially when I'm watching it, because
yeah
I'm doing this so when those 200 pip runs happen,
yeah
I know every single time if I'm just consistent to my plan, I'll catch every single one of those during our most volatile trading hours, if that makes
mm,
sense. And so and in my trade log, I put inevitable loss on some of these, and
mm,
the lessons I've taken where prices close outside of the cloud, and it's next couple candles has popped me out. It's never been. I think the most it's been is like 38, 40 pips
mm,
L on that, but almost every time, and I kind of added the sliding the stop loss up even earlier once we get to 30 pips, because I used to just kind of let it play out. But when I'm watching it, I'll mess around with the stop loss, in the sense that if I continue to see momentum and volume coming my way, I'll kind
mm-hmm,
of give myself a little bit more room. But once I get into profit, that thing's not going any lower than break even.
mm-hmm.
And then if it pops me out, then I'll enter. If I'm still above the cloud, I'll enter on cloud and angle change with good relativity, volume on our MACD, just the traditional stuff. So,
Yeah, I hear that.
but I just love just the when price closes outside the cloud, and just simplifying that initial read, that initial entry. I
Yeah,
really like that. I've liked what it's looked like in the back test.
it's BXT, man.
VC, 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 VC.
You work today?
Yeah, I'm on at 3:30. I'm gonna get a little biochem done, get some movement in. I'll probably go on a little walk. So just get outside for a little bit, man. I'm inside all weekend. It seems like just with work. I have
Yeah,
to get outside a little bit. It's nice out. So, but
it
yeah, how
is
about you?
nice out. No, I don't work today. I got family game night over at my sister's house, so I'll do
There you
that. Get some back testing in. Got to post my weekly recap, so I'll knock that out. Get our TikTok, YouTube post out. Um, but yeah,
go.
just some things I'm really fascinated by right now. Just that I'm just gonna continue doing research on, um,
Mm.
seeing how it unfolds. But yeah,
Sure.
that's
Yes,
all I
sir.
got. But
Sure. That's all I got, man. Yeah, good live, productive live. I like this Sunday morning format.
yeah,
I think it's something we'll continue to do. It's good at the beginning of the week just to wrap our minds around just
yeah.
everything we're looking at, venturing into. So
This is a good time
productive.
too. I think 11 a.m. probably good
Yeah,
time.
it works. It works. It
Sure.
works.
But all
Yes,
right,
sir.
dude.
All right, man. And the stream.
All right,
Appreciate
live.
live if you made it this far. Appreciate you guys. See you next Sunday.
Peace.